Hello and welcome to Business Insider with Mario Toneguzzi on YYC Business. Joining me today is Barbara Lawlor, who is CEO of Baker Real Estate. Thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure, Mario.
Well, let's talk about the condo market in the country. Barbara, how would you describe what's happening right now in the pre-construction condo market in the country?
We're in a red hot market, and that has really come about since January of this year. The first quarter of this year, we saw the market really take off. I think it was partly because prices had reached such a high point on detached and semi-detached houses that the condo, which offered more affordability, came back into high demand. And we've certainly been setting records in the first quarter. We have offices in Toronto and in Montreal and in Vancouver. So we've got our fingers on the pulse of those three markets.
Mm-hmm. So in terms of fueling that demand, what types of buyers are interested in that condo market right now?
I think the condo market the new construction condo market by its nature, because of the long term of the construction of these buildings, is always fueled coming out of the gate by the investor. And investors believe in the long-term rise in equity and the return on their deposit monies, because you put your money down today, over a period of 18 months to 2 years, and then you wait for the building to be built, which takes 3 to 5 years. And there is a rise in equity. If you look back over the last 10 years, even in 2011, an average condo was selling, new construction condo was selling for $400,000. Today, it's selling over $1 million. So that is 165% increase.
That's where, Barbara?
Yeah.
And where is that?
That is certainly in our Toronto market. It would be very similar in the Vancouver market. It would be less in the Montreal market, which is not as intense as the Vancouver and Toronto markets.
Yeah. And no matter what market you're in, Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, Calgary, one of the demographics that are being impacted by what's happening overall in the real estate market is the first-time buyers, right? So are we seeing more first-time buyers because of the prices in the single detached especially are looking at the condo market?
Oh, there's no question that the first-time buyers' only entry point into the real estate market is new construction condominiums, because not only is it the price, because it's more affordable, but it's also the length of time you have to come up with your deposit money, and it's phased in deposit money. And then you've got that waiting period before the building is delivered, actually built. So it really is a tremendous boon to a first-time buyer. We're also seeing, Mario, that millennials are coming back into our marketplace, and they're coming back with the help of the bank of mom and pop, who are in fact giving them help financially. Instead of bequeathing it to them in their wills, they're helping them get into the real estate market. And I think that's a wonderful thing to do. And I'm one of those mom and pops.
The other thing too, right, is the interest rates are still really low, right? So that fuels things, doesn't it?
That absolutely is fueling the red hot market that we find ourselves in, is because borrowing money is so cheap today, and it's likely to continue to be low mortgage rates for quite some time to come. I think as we re-enter the economics of our country coming out of COVID, it will behoove the banks to be very cautious about raising their interest rates. Because a lot of people are going to need help in rebuilding their businesses and getting back into the marketplace.
Barbara, I was going to ask if, regarding the interest rates and obviously mortgages, et cetera, as of June 1st, the mortgage stress test, was in place where it's a little harder for people, making it a little harder for people to get mortgages, et cetera. Do you think will have any impact on the market going forward?
I actually don't think it's going to have the desired effect, and the reason for it was to cool the market, and we're certainly not seeing it. If you think about it, the OSFI regulations now require people to qualify at 5.25%, and it's still extremely low historical rates, even at that level. I think it may have a little more impact on new detached and on houses, but it will have less effect on the new construction condominium market.
Okay. Excuse me. The only other question I had for you, when the pandemic hit, and during the pandemic, there was kind of a flight out of the downtowns, so to speak. More people looking at suburbs or acreages or rural living, small town living, et cetera. Do you think there is a return coming now to the markets, to the sort of the inner city markets?
Oh, absolutely. We're already feeling the difference this year. We saw the investors start to come back into our market actually in December of 2020, but certainly the early months of 2021 have shown that the investor is truly committed to downtown living. And I think now that people are getting their second vaccinations and there's great optimism that there will be a return to city living. And I also think too that the media made great hay out of the numbers of the exodus. What wasn't so broadly reported was the incoming groups that came into the cities during that same period. It just wasn't as newsworthy. But certainly when our borders reopen and we have immigration and our foreign students are able to come back in for in-person classes, we're going to see a very big transition back into city life.
Okay, super. Well, thanks very much, Barbara, for joining us today.
Thank you, Mario. Pleasure.
Okay, super. That was Barbara Lawlor, who is CEO of Baker Real Estate. This has been Business Insider with Mario Toneguzzi on YYC Business. Thanks for joining us today.